Greetings, everyone. My name is Jonathan Bailey, and I'm from the site Plagiarism Today, which can be found at plagiarismtoday.com. And you may notice I have all of my snazzy effects back today. That's because backups have been restored. I'm back to nearly 100%. Still got to go through and find all the files and put them in the correct place on the new hard drive. But I do have access to all my data now, so yay, Backblaze came through. Copyright and plagiarism news. Not a lot going on. Holiday weekends tend not to behoove finding a lot of really great copyright news. And that's pretty unfortunate because I always come back on Tuesday, raring to go, and there's always so little to talk about. But one story was forwarded to me by my good friend Patrick O'Keefe at the iFroggy Network at iFroggy.com, who actually put in my lap a story about a photographer named Jay Lee. Basically what happened in this case, and a lot of this is he said, she said type thing, and so I don't want to get into the specific details other than to say I'm having to take kind of people at their word when I say all this. But basically, Jay Lee is a photographer who discovered that an image he took of Houston, a very, very nice image I might add, was being used all over the internet without his permission. And he started filing DMCA takedown notices and got a lot of them removed. However, one of those takedown notices kind of went a little sour. And from what I've grasped, this was something of a, I don't want to say, but a perfect storm of a perfect DMCA storm, if you will. So basically what happened here is he filed a DMCA takedown notice against a woman whose name is Candace Schwager, C-S-C-H-W-A-G-E-R, I don't know. But basically, filed a DMCA notice against her, and like I said, perfect storm here because this woman is a lawyer. Once again, I'm going based upon what people said here. I have no evidence one way or another here. She's an attorney. She runs some 14 different sites on her account, and she's with GoDaddy. The latter being kind of the element that really made this an imperfect storm, a perfect storm rather, because it wasn't imperfect at all, because GoDaddy has a very strange DMCA policy, a very overreactive one. I'm actually writing about this on PT today, so I won't talk about it too much. But basically, if you file a DMCA takedown notice with GoDaddy, they will shut down the entire domain. The entire account, rather, not just the entire domain. So that means if you host multiple domains with GoDaddy, everything's gone. And that's exactly what happened in this case. Candace had all 14 of her sites shut down. And this happened at like I said, to continue the perfect storm story a little bit, because one of the sites at least dealt with a charity for children. And another one of the sites, and this is I think the big one, was a political site that did a lot with a upcoming sheriff's race in Texas. I really don't know anything about this. It's a pretty obscure county in Texas. I don't know anything about the local politics there. But apparently this is a very heated election, and as you know, we're right up against election day for these types of things. Long story short, Candace initially believed that this was, at least initially, I should say, I don't know if she still does or not, believed that this was not a legitimate copyright claim, that this was the political opponent filing the takedown in order to silence her. That wasn't the case here. And the whole thing just degenerated into a war of words, with Candace really elevating things and now threatening to sue Mr. Lee with libel, harassment, all those other things. There have been competing blog posts about this. The entire saga has gotten way, way, way out of hand. What should have been a very simple copyright matter over a single image on a domain has now blown up and has drastically impacted a lot of lives when it needed to be nothing more than a simple, okay, I'll remove the image. And I don't really fault Jay Lee on this one. He did what he was supposed to. He filed a DMCA takedown notice with the host, got the image removed, and to get the image removed, which is exactly what he's supposed to do. It was a very proper use of the DMCA. It was an infringement, despite what Candace says. My analysis is that it was definitely an infringement on her part. No fair use question here in my book. Nonprofits do not get a free pass on fair use and copyright issues. It's barely even a consideration in fair use if you look at the 4 factors. But long story short, it's really become a big, big deal. And, I don't want to offer too much commentary on the 2 people involved, but I do believe Mr. Lee did everything right in his book. The one criticism I might have is that he seemed eager to take this one public. I don't know who posted the blogs first. I didn't check the dates before doing this, but if Candace posted first, then I would agree that his hand was a little forced here. But taking these matters public rarely does any good, and that's for both sides. But really, this has become way more as needed. And of course, Candace is now posting saying she's hired attorneys to file suit against Mr. Lee, and the whole thing has really gotten out of hand. I'm not sure at all what the point of this is on her part. She used a guy's image without permission. Even if you don't believe it's an infringement, you have to believe he has a right to be upset about it, and that it is his image, and that he has a right to contest its use and to feel as if it's an infringement, and to understand that the position he's in. And she's just opted to take this as seemingly completely personal and make a big deal about it. So I don't know. Let this be a precautionary tale on a lot of fronts. One, it's a cautionary tale about GoDaddy. GoDaddy is a terrible host for DMCA takedown notices. They have a terrible policy, a terrible procedure for it. I would never host a site with GoDaddy, let alone multiple on the same account. Let it be a word of caution about filing DMCA takedowns. Most notices do not go this way. I've filed hundreds, if not thousands, of notices. Probably thousands by now. I haven't really kept count. But basically, very, very few go this way, but I have had a few people attack me over it. It has happened. Most are resolved very peacefully and amicably, but every once in a while, some do jump the tracks for various reasons. And finally, let it be a cautionary tale for what can happen online when you defend your copyright in general. It does make you a target. There are people out there with some misguided beliefs and will defend those beliefs often to irrational extents. So just be warned, this can happen. On that note, Lee has taken down his posts. He seems to be trying to resolve this amicably, but if you go to Candace's site, all of her posts are still up there. No attempt on her part to resolve this, it seems. So I guess we'll see what happens. But all in all, just a big mess, and it's a mess that frankly could have been avoided if just GoDaddy had been a little bit better about how it handles DMCA take notices. But more on that a little bit later this afternoon on Plagiarism Today proper. Well, on that note, everyone, I'm going to take leave today. So this is Jonathan Bailey, signing off.